Minister for welcoming all to another weekly government press conference. We don't over time don't create the platform for make sure say una interact with government. But as una know, we start with the news updates across government. And after that, I go hand over to the host, the minister, for takeaway on the topics we there for today. Now, the first update we'll get now that last Tuesday, the 9th of January, His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Madabio, received a delegation which include investors from the Kingdom of Morocco, led by the Ambassador of Morocco to Sierra Leone, His Excellency Issam Taib. We then come as a follow-up to His Excellency in visit will be take place in Morocco in November 2023. Then come for explore various investment opportunities in Salone with a particular interest for focus on President's priority in agriculture. Also, the Sierra Leone Ambassador designate to the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the African Union, and the UNECA, His Excellency Harold Bundo Safa, last week, Tuesday, the 9th of January, also officially take leave of His Excellency the President for go start a new duty. The ambassador designates now the foreign minister will present to His Excellency the President. On Wednesday, the 10th, last week, also the President officially welcomed the new resident coordinator, Madam Seraphine Wakana. Madam Wakana, na Burundian national and seasoned economist, we get over 28 years experience in coordination, political engagement, economics, development planning for council support Sierra Leone's sustainable development efforts. When the President will receive him, the President said the government remains steadfast in the commitment for work with the different UN agencies in Salone. Also last week, Wednesday the 10th, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Musa will launch the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute SLARI Act 2023. This new act paved the way for make the revamp the agricultural research in Salone, and also it expects it will contribute greatly to the Feed Salone agenda. Also on Friday the 12th last week, the President also meets with the National Council of Paramount Chiefs and the Intelligence Council of Sierra Leone for updates them on a range of governance issues, particularly the November 26 failed coup attempt. President Bio will meet with then groups there, emphasize in government in commitment to peace, security, and the rule of law. Also, His Excellency the President yesterday received the leadership of the All People's Party, All People's Congress Party, the leadership in the Parliament, and the members of Parliament of the APC, now the minority leader, Honorable Abdul Kabo, now he lead the delegation when they go to President for go discuss various issues that really border on governance. His Excellency also used the opportunity for talks in politics about dialogue. And the President stressed a good for make the government and opposition for always discuss about governance. The last updates now on the international front, where on Thursday, the 11th January, the Republic of Sierra Leone joined several other countries across the world for signing the 2024 Hajj agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The agreement, now the chairman of the Sierra Leone Presidential Task Force on Hajj, Alhaji Mutada Sise, now signed on behalf of Sierra Leone, with the Saudi Deputy Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Abdul Fattah bin Sulaiman Mashat, where they do on the sideline of the 3rd edition of the annual Hajj and Umrah exhibition conference, where they own Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And so the updates will come, and I will pass on over to the minister, we will host, and also for introduce the guests that will get today.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Minister Yusuf Keke Thomas Andi, Fambul and host, members of the press, and for bringing warm greetings again as we don't come back with Unayo Press and Civic Engagement Conference. We bring the people who are leaders of policy for can talk directly and answer any and all questions. I want to take this opportunity again for thank you to all the media partners them when they carry we live. Una the bloggers them, social new media, una all plenty thank you. We partner in SL Media where they carry we make sure so you get good quality feed. As well, we partner with the sports with sign language to make sure say we're really radically inclusive. One for seven and plenty thank you. It's an important day, a big conversation we get because this conversation now the one way we discuss the country into future, the development of Salone. Waiting our development priorities. In the midst of all these other conversations that we get, the most important thing now, whose side the country they go. What's in our priorities? How we don't set them priorities in the way that the process we don't get for align them priorities in there. Today it's a high-powered panel. I'm very, very pleased for getting my colleague in the cabinet. And this woman, one of the gems of Salone when it comes to development. Madam Kenyeh Barley, not a stranger. We miss small way with this school. The bottom and saying they work for international agencies in your country, don't go all across the world and don't do fantastic work representing this country. They don't please His Excellency for coming. He can lead on the country in development. The Honorable Minister for Economic Planning and Development, with Madam Kenyeh Barley, who can talk about the new medium-term National Development Plan. We can always also sometimes look for include the people's representatives. And today we get somebody who is uniquely qualified for discuss this issue. The Honorable Musa Fofonah. Honorable now been the chair of Development Committee in the last Parliament. So he take part for rights the last developments. And will be also bring and can become the current chair for governance, the Committee on Local Governance. So, Honorable presents two serious constituencies and perspectives in this conversation. I make it there for represent the people's house. Again, while we're there, I can like for reminder and say any and all questions are welcome. As long as the question will pertain to do with the government of Salone, we'll answer to that. And last but by no means the least, now, my former colleague in the civil society space, I can always say not just civil society, but also a think tank, a thinker, etc. When you think about development, really critically and peace and national cohesion. So, perspective I have closely with the Ministry of Development, with Mr. Lavali, the head executive director for Institute for Governance Reform. So we get a very competent panel. I want to start with peace and the state of security of the country. We'll get that out of the way. Family don't see plenty audios in the background and videos in the background. I'm for sure the peace-loving people of Salone say tomorrow I walk there and you're free and safe for go about your normal business. Schools could be open. People need to go about their normal business free. Anybody will choose for embark in any illegal activity, I want to say this clearly, could be met with the very full force of the laws of Sierra Leone. The security apparatus, they are alert, and they will make sure see the ordinary citizens them are protected, and the peaceful citizens they will go about a normal business safely. You know, there's no need for worry as a peace-loving citizen. I want to take the opportunity for plenty thank you to the chairman of the All People's Congress Party, the Honorable Mikhailo Mansaye. We issue a very stern statement for dissociate the party from the rumors that will go online. No APCO, SLPPO, nobody no call no protest tomorrow. And tomorrow there's a court sitting, whether they go on peacefully. Another one also go happen tomorrow. So all this will go on, I want let people let me rest assured. Means if you organize a protest, this is a democracy, you apply it to the Sierra Leone Police and the Inspector General of Police to provide security. We now know say neither the APC nor the SLPP don't call for any protest, and no need no day this time. So anybody will choose for try for undermine the peace, the security forces are not going to take a lightly with them. So I just want to clarify that name for people who ask. Yes, of course, we are aware, and yes, of course, the states stay in alert. So I just ask people, let's say, go about your normal business tomorrow, and everything will be fine, inshallah. When we come to the question and answer, we will take questions on other issues, including security and the court proceedings and all of that. Adeya, the Deputy Minister, said there. This press conference an opportunity for you to ask any and all questions on the business of government. So now we'll come to where we are when I will discuss development. We start with the Honorable Minister. Madam Minister, this platform now an opportunity not just for make we talk about what government they do, but for also provide civic education. First question I will ask you, what's in a national development plan? Why country they get under? Why the important? Help for set the scene for people there. What's in the importance of this? Now we'll come to the process and the content. I'll use small time today that you really explain to families. I'll come to the other panelists then for one more quick, and then we'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Siba. And I'm glad I get the opportunity for kind of talk now today. We both know that it's long overdue. We will fix this appointment in order to take place, but today not the way God mark. And so I think say this is not the most appropriate day. But before I go on to what waiting at a medium-term national development plan, I want first of all for at least educate the fourth estate within and the public what economic development, economic development be. And that's now the mobilization of your resources and invest in your country for the betterment, for the growth of that country and for the betterment of the people, for improve the quality of life of the people. Now in that economic development, because at times people do not even know what the ministry they're about, but that now for another day. In terms of the planning now, for reach this goal, for develop your country, you can't forget one institution, the government, where they set the targets based on priorities of the people, based on the priorities of the government. Now we set the targets and we identify programs and policies where they go into these targets. Now the medium term, now the length of the plan. If not short term, we will say now 1-2 years. Plans now usually for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, 9 countries can get plan. And for the past decades, I would say, we plan, except when we get a rolling plan, or we plan now for 5 years. This particular time, this plan now for 7 years. from 2024, this month 2024, to December 2030. And the reason for this is, one, say we align with the global goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, where they end 2030. So we say rather than we plan to 2028 and then we rush now to do a short 2-year plan, when we get the 7-year plan, in line with what we don't plan towards we achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Then people then say, oh, well, it'll go beyond this government in mandates. And it'll go beyond the people and mandates and their need for get development. But you find out, say, plans can take quite a while for development. Up to a year. We don't do your own in lightning speed. That don't mean, say, it don't diminish the quality. But usually, if you want to do detailed survey at the end of the plan, the post-assessment, it will take time. So we give the next plan time, adequate planning for time. We base on planning on the midterm evaluation, but we just want to get enough time and experience and for make sure we realistically reach their goals. So that is the planning process and the plan. The plan. Can I go into the process and then the content?
Please.
Thank you.
The process and then content.
The process with a plan, somebody can sit down in an office and by himself and write a plan. You get the framework, you get the format. But a plan, a country plan, it gets to be consultative. So we make sure from September this year, August, September, from when we begin in office, we don't consult on this plan. And we don't reach at least 8,000 individuals, I'm told. Now, with this, Siba, you don't take up all, because it's not just the journalists within IR, but I would say the whole of Sierra Leone. So we really don't cover more than 30,000 people in terms of the discussion of the plan, the content of the plan. And during these discussions, they get feedback from these individuals. In the week of the 22nd to 24th of November, those 2 days, we start them in all 16 districts of this country, holding 2-day discussions with comprising of traditional leaders, council members, traders, market women, youth, bike riders, school children. They've been part of this plan. Then we have a separate forum. We had a separate forum last week for youth, regional. We've also fed into the strategic plan discussions where number of the ministries don't get. The Presidential Initiative for Parliamentary, Transport Ministry, Gender Ministry. If you notice, over the last 3-4 months, every ministry don't get, almost every ministry don't get a strategic planning workshop. And an officer from my ministry don't do, now all of them workshop they did. Now, it really would be the other way around, that we set the overall target and then they do their strategic plans. But now what we do is like top, bottom, top, meeting in the middle. So while then they think through, we people then they give their advice, and at the same time, then they give within their own goals and priorities. So now so this plan don't they, and we still they carry on consultation to the end. One major thing we are not talk, this is the process about the plan before I come to the actual content of the plan. The plan means say we set targets and policies, but it's based on the nation's vision. And the vision where we base we own plan on is, and this is based on the aspirations of the people. Now the proclamation where the president make, right? The 2023 manifesto, right? It mentioned 5 big game changers. And I will talk about those, well, maybe not in too much detail because of the time, but I will talk about them in a minute. But whatever we do, and it help we now, that they guide we, that the focus of the plan, now on these 5 game changers, then we get 5 enablers where to support this plan. So that is very, very important. And I just want also for explain, for those who may not know, those that are engaged in sport, and sabi waiting a game changer. Right? But I just want to make all man know, not to a political gimmick. Right? And I will tell you why the relationship between these 5 game changers and why they're going to make a difference in Sierra Leone. From the first year of the previous administration, we're going to go in a new direction. We've been held small because of COVID and the Ukraine war. So now we get to accelerate redevelopment. We get to do something different. Now, if you're a sports person, you know that in the middle of a match, if things then go wrong, sometimes you either change a player or a strategy for win that game. That's what we do. We change the players, we change the strategy. And with these 5 big game changers, we will change the trajectory of Sierra Leone.
Minister, let me just ask on the 5 game changers. I think people, well, we know them. We can name them one day quickly. But I want to just name them quick and then name the 5 enablers. Because I think most people don't know Awale family know now.
Okay, all right. Well, you all know the 5 big game changers, but let me name them quickly and I still get to talk about the next. Okay, the 5, feed salon, human capital development, the youth employment scheme, which is providing 500,000 jobs for youth. That's very specific. Technology and infrastructure and transforming the public sector architecture.
No, you don't switch up. I know, I see what you do there. Number 4 and number 5, but that's fine. Like we've discussed this before. Because typically number 4, transforming the public sector, and number 5, and technology. So we have Minister of Information. We'd like to stick to the facts, but I see what you're doing there.
Me and the Minister of Planning, we put them in the right order. So now you know, see, but there's a reason for that.
All right.
Reason day.
Yes.
Right? I mean, the 5, they're still day. But if you look at them in logical sequence, not so before B.
Yeah.
Now, the flagship, the one winner, the major program, now for feed salon. And this feed salon, that's why I say it's not a gimmick. It's not to say you put food now people then belly, then gladly for you. No. Well, we go do that eventually. But it's using agriculture to turn this economy around. 50% of we GDP they come up from agriculture. Right? But it's still not enough for growing economy. That day we sabi. Now then people then sabi. We can change, and when I don't hear this, I presume from the Ministry of Agriculture, but we can change the dynamics. We make agriculture, we increase the contribution of agriculture to GDP. We're not just look subsistence farming. We're looking at commercialized farming. That rest where we say we they produce. We import $250 to $300 million worth of rice annually. Now, if we go into commercial agriculture, and even if we're able, within the first 3-4 years, produce 50% of what we import, you see how much money we save. So that is the main reason, the main crux. And the same for the fishery sector. Okay, we talk about fish ponds, protein for people, that's good. But with commercial fishing, we get for also increase that, for also raise the GDP. You know that we get very good fish in salon. We get different varieties of fish. But we cannot export the fish to the EU because of restrictions we to do with quality control and other things. But say them fish, they are transshipped to Ghana and they go out to Europe. Senegal, they go up to Europe. Why can't we do it? So the Ministry of Fisheries, they work on that. Right? And then we look at nutrition. So I needed to focus on feed salon.
And I know, Minister, that's fine.
Yeah.
But just the 5 enablers. What's the 5 enablers? Because I want people to know the content of this plan.
Okay. The 5 enablers we get. The first one, now diversifying the economy. All right? So even though I don't talk about agriculture now as central, we know that we get other sectors now in mining, tourism, and manufacturing, where really for make this economy grow. So then they enable what we do. They enable investments in the sectors where we refer to. The second one, now the governance. We look at governance. We can't forget proper governance. And that they said they look at the overall down to local governance, but it's looking at peace and security. It's looking at justice. All what we get for get the right environment for the country for develop. The other one is climate resilience. You know, say we get a natural resource management. You know, say we get the presidential initiative for climate change. In the bit under here, we're looking at disaster management. And all of those, because if we keep on having all these disasters, the country also no go grow. Then, by popular demand, because Siba, probably the last time you be hearing about time, there were 4 enablers. Now there are 5 enablers. We get heavy lobbying from the Ministry of Gender. We get even heavier lobbying from Parliament, and we concede and we put the 4th enabler, gender mainstream, and then the 5th enabler now is financing, implementation, and resource mobilization. So those are the 5 enablers. But can I just talk 2 seconds about the nexus? Okay, when I don't hear about the 5, I don't tell when I'm waiting on the game changes. I tell you why. I tell you why feeds alone are priority. But there's a relationship between all of those 5 within with man called nexus. I don't know, see if I can help me with the Creole, but connection,
all the tie them together.
Yes. So with feeds alone, you connect to human capital development, healthy mind, healthy body. Then you get people then now where they produce from the education system, where they help to improve the agricultural sector. Likewise, the youth employment scheme. The focus, the target could be in the sectors that I told you, in fisheries and agriculture. If you come down to technology and infrastructure, of course, infrastructure for reach them, farm them, for reach into the rural areas, you need that infrastructure. Technology provide an opportunity for advancement and jobs for youth in that area. So we rarely see the need. Those 4 are all connected. But even the 5th one, within the Minister of Public Works can always say, not public works, public affairs, public service, is say the 4 vertical pillars. Transforming the public service is the horizontal pillar on which all of them rest. Because you need good workers, extension workers for agriculture, you need systems in place, systems for agriculture, for health, for education, for every one of those 4 where I don't refer to. We need to get a good public service where they support the other enablers. So you see the link between all of them. So if we get them right, the game don't change you.
Well, I think say from, as they can say, the horse's mouth, the minister don't explain what thing you expect for seeing the medium-term national development plan. I just want to remind people here of a few things that the minister say. Number 1, for the first time, the development plan not just tied to an election period, it now linked to the global goals. So you know they expire 2028, they expire 2030. A 7-year plan with a cut across political party. They make this process don't be very inclusive and we get the voices of the brothers and sisters in the opposition and the people of this country, so that this development plan will be owned by all sections of society. Minister said they don't embark on a huge, diverse, inclusive, consultative process where they continue up until date because they're not even done the plan yet. And when I don't see the consultation process don't yield dividend, don't give results. For example, the enabler that have been 4, but because of the consultation, the enabler that don't become 5. We don't see the addition of gender mainstreaming in the enablers there. You don't talk about the linkage within all of the priorities here we'll get. Now, before we come to this plan, Honorable, I think one question will even they get online, people don't always ask, oh, as soon as we make development plans ready, we'll not see better. You be involved in the last development plan in your position as minister, as promotion. Honorable will be the chair of the development committee. Now you chair the local government committee. I want to just reflect on the development plan, the last one, which you see, and which you want to learn from as a representative of the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister, Deputy Minister, the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, a big brother from civil society, and to all the rest of the families who are there this afternoon. My name is Honorable Musa Fofonah from Kono. I happen for chair economic development planning during the last parliament for 3 years. And I've been part and parcel to the system from the start. One unique thing we, my committee, find out about the midterm national development plan for Sierra Leone, that after the president don't kind of power 2018, they do consultation with PPRC and then take the manifesto of 17 political parties and look into the manifesto for let them transform the SLPP manifesto into a national development document. And not stop under one day, they also include the SDGs. While they include the Sustainable Development Goal, and for let we align with your national development plan to the international document then. But not also stop under one day, we find out, say, we get a lot of other connections with the AU Agenda 2063. Because when you look at the 7 pillars, you look at the 8 pillars, and you consider the 17 goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, you see the alignment with the National Midterm Development Plan of 8 clusters and 43 bullet points then align with that document there. That made Parliament become very serious and concerned. Why? We look at the President Kaba first national document to come 1996. When I've been the PRSP1, Poverty Reduction Strategy Paper 1, when President Kabaka in second term in 2002, he bring Poverty Reduction Strategy Paper 2. Waiting be missing. The pillars were very good. The document was very perfect, but the document was not collaborative. Why? The war. Number 2, I think the influx of NGOs and other implementing partners, it been very difficult for the government to harmonize development at that time. So we find out, say, they will build store, outside store not for day, they will build market, outside market not for day, they will do all kinds of things because that they get the money, nobody know they control them. So government look into this one, say this is a very good strategy we need for look into. What thing is also important, that document also concentrates on the agenda for change. When the former president, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, became 2007, they bring the agenda for change. They get wonderful pillars. I can show you now. When you can 2012, they bring agenda for prosperity. But one thing we also missing, the collaboration, the popularization, and the involvement of the people who will be the beneficiary to them project here. So that make we not able for even align then document here to the international document because we not being get a secretariat where we look at the achievements and align them to waiting we get and waiting we not get at all. So where we government in the go United Nations or in the go EU or any other engagement, they will able for explain waiting that we don't achieve and waiting that we not achieve. So as Parliament, the leadership been giving all the support. By then, Minister Kaikai been in charge. Say, make sure see, you pay all the attention. I was in an opposition by then. I mean, I've been C for CNP. But I think the former minister will testify that we go na the length and breadth of this country. Whether na Falaba, whether na Pujo, na Cambia, you name the rest. And the government also make sure, say, one day nobody not interfere by my job as an MP. Even we are in the opposition. I've been free for doing my job. One simple one, now when we go for go do an oversight for the Mabam Bridge, the Bele Bridge, the Moyamba Junction, Moyamba Town, and then the Liberia Highway from Bo to Jendema. It's been very tough because these are EU projects where they get total control. But as Parliament, we get a belief, say, Section 118 subsection 7, it gives you the mandate, say, whenever something can in this country, then for inform Parliament and Parliament for get an oversight strength to top. So for that reason, we ask them why they job they delay, because these are projects where they don't commission last, why up to now you not complete. This is the achievement then way this document here will for make. Why? Now because if you go to the road sector, we make sure say SLRA and the Works Ministry and contractors will align them to the midterm national development plan, because the president in a cluster and a bullet say in infrastructural development we will pay attention to them. So I want to let we understand the reason we make the midterm national development plan at some stage get some shock because of the coronavirus, of course, and it creates serious problem. Because what you do, donors where they concentrate in Africa or Salon, they get the hear that in their country and pass them concentrate to that one day. But yet still, I want for assure now, say, with we own what we do, if you consider the health sector, for example, where for every 100,000 people they move with it, where they give back, we almost lost 1,000. Government pay a lot of attention because of the midterm national development plan for reduce that particular one. And today we get a very good mark. When you look at 2018 survey, where these documents do for we know, for example, what we don't achieve and what we for do. If you go to energy, for example, 2018, the energy where this country the boast of was 15.0%. I get the national review, local review, where the ministry do. The ministry in targets for 2023, now for them get 44% of energy. And I can show now with the West Africa Power Pool, with Kono, Kenyeh, Bo, they on that line, I think we get enough power. And I feel say we must follow hit the 44% target. And I know see with the green energy, the president say he want for hit 1,000 target. When you go to the mining sector, it's been difficult for you able to align the mineral gains with this country will make, because we know they do background check for most of the mining companies where they come, whether they can claim money or they don't can claim money, whether they get money, they don't get money, then they just go hold concession, they go sit down and sell the concession. At the end of the day, we go at lost. But because the government pay attention at the mining sector, this government negotiate one of the best contracts with Girard Mining Company for them to get 10% free carriage for this country. We lose them na Rutai because President Kababi also inject money in Rutai for them we get 30%, but we lose them during the last government. Now we don't get 10% free carriage over yonder. When you go to Shandong or Leon Rock Mining Company, we also get the rail and the port where they are above $1 billion. These are negotiations for expand your revenue base, because the government say we need for fund we own project them on we own. The minister ends on side we are one for also just share tuna. Cluster 8, that this document very powerful, because the national plan implementation is very, very critical. That this particular plan. Now in government finance, very easy for tap into this plan. When you look at the coordination of the finances, it's also very important. Government, they pay a lot of attention to Sierra Leoneans. For less Sierra Leoneans, they do the public-private partnership investment so that they will own their own business on their own. If you see the Betmile energy project right now, Sierra Leonean own 100%. We get almost 4 large-scale mining companies when Sierra Leonean own. We get small-scale mining companies a lot when Sierra Leonean own. Maybe if I get opportunity for come back with the instruction from the minister, I will come with a lot of other details.
Right.
And also the monitoring and evaluation, and for strengthening the statistical system. I think that some of them things are maybe able to achieve, some of them things will achieve so far. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very, very much. I think in the midst of a lot of negative news about the Parliament, today you don't really show in right now this platform. Say actually we get people in our Parliament with the work. We know what they talk about. You are detailed, you are factual. And I even feel for Andrew Lavali small because Andrew Lavali can call himself the data man. But the MP don't count more data before even Andrew they get a chance for get a bite. But I think the highlights is you don't really make clear to family the importance of the national development plan. And you point out the concrete gains that we will get because of that development. And the role we parliaments play. I want to take this opportunity for say you don't make the right choice now, you're not the right party, but then in a separate part. So you're welcome inside the greenhouse. But you also really want to underscore the point, say when it comes to development, it no matter whose party you're in. And that's when this man, as he say, been in another party, the minister there under the leadership of His Excellency, work very closely with them for get the right plan and for implementing. And then at the message with His Excellency will allow share Salon big pass we all allow lift Salon above all else. That we can belong to different factions, but when it comes to development, we come together and unite as one. Andrew, you think a lot about development. You always the critique, they review, they do data, they do studies, some for go, some not for go, what's the happen, what not the happen, and look at the polls. I just want to give you a chance to reflect on what you're doing so far. And what you think Salon supposed to focus on in the next 5-7 years as we think about the new national development plan?
Thank you very much. I don't know if this is an ambush, because so I read Kenyeh and the Honorable talk. I think the Jolly Kai talk I really not get something for say again. But they are all very right. But Honorable Minister, I just want to start by asking me, journalists then, let we be citizens for the first time. Just forget about media work. Minister said this is not the most important thing. Now we talk about 500,000 jobs. If 500,000 jobs, they in a salon, APC possible will get jobs, SLPP will get jobs. If Fit Salon succeed, and the question we need for us, when you write to paper, how will they make sure say that you also how you will get food for it? Now I can see people that can get food, they can't see the whole day. They plan about WhatsApp, APC, SLPP. They don't even think about the plan where government gets. How do I engage with that plan? Now that make this conversation very important. Now that make my first call. Now for let me forget about being me. I know you talk as civil society. I talk as a citizen of Sierra Leone. Because if this plan fail, APC, SLPP, all man fail. If this plan succeed, you know what's going to happen? If they talk of financial inclusion, you go begin to ask how many people don't get bank accounts 5 years ago, don't get bank accounts now. If they talk about connectivity, how many people don't get lights now they host? They get lights now. So that make Minister Kenyeh, I want to congratulate you for this is the first time for law get a medium to longer term development plan. It's not just medium. Now we get 7-8 years plan. And always there has been this critique that the PRSP is very short. How do you get something with long small? And how do you get something with the transition regimes? With the go across regimes? It's 20 years ago we've been getting the first PRSP. And I'm glad the Honorable will take a broad tour of that history. From the first one just after the war, where the biggest focus now building peace and building institutions. So with the talk say today with the praise back about saying build institution and build peace, it was his development plan. 2 years on, 3 years on, there was a change of government and there was a change of that focus on building peace, building institutions. We come to the agenda for change. I don't criticize any regime, but there was a tangential focus on peace and development. So today, if you talk, say, 20 years ago, we had PRSP, we be focused on peace. Now, listen, just November last year, we get coups. If you go outside of this building, you get tension. So what has been wrong with our planning? Is it that we not build better? Is it that we not build inclusivity? So as we do this planning, and I'm glad we talk about the enablers. The enablers, they really talk about how do we build inclusivity, how do we build planning. But at the bottom of all of this, I just want for the Honorable Minister, let I just tell you how citizens can look at this then big 5 year. The first one, every person now, when you ask, when you talk, say, feed salon, remember now, how we forget food. So we forget the baseline, but we'll send people in data in terms of food, because, and we'll not get everybody wrong. By 2030, not all salon get forget food. We'll get for measure how many people don't get food from now on to that time. The next one, they will talk about highly skilled workforce and healthy workforce. So, people like normally, they can ignore education, because education really not a vote winner. So you see a lot of governments across Africa, they find it difficult for investing in education, invest in human capital. But waiting there in this plan, and waiting there in subsequent previous plan then, now how do you get your household, that your household, waiting at the health care in the household, how do we ensure that there is somebody at least, now that you host it, we learn book, we get skill for work. So after 7 years, now so you get for measure the effect of this plan. So you can go down the road, you go to energy, you can go to roads. So look at this plan and look at what this plan means to you and your life. And out of this plan now, you therefore begin to talk about how do we get a district development plan? How do we get Kono district development agenda? So you cannot say no more, we go develop plan. No, and Bombali say no, we in our position, we go develop plan. Without looking at this plan, and Minister Barley can agree, say, all government fundraising, all development partner resources, therefore be channeled to this. So if you come on a bill chiefdom, if you come on send me come out, now we get for say we chiefdom development plan, get for look at the big 5 game changers. How many jobs get for kind of chiefdom? So forget about being a journalist. Look at this plan and see what does it mean to my community, what it mean for the chiefdom, what it mean for the country. I don't know, I've spoken quite a lot, but I know what it mean when somebody can want to stop and listen to questions.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I really appreciate that. Before I open up for questions, we keep saying let people study this plan. And thank you, Andrew, because I think the points where you raise were tied to points, the sentiment of this conversation is for think first as a citizen. We are all salon people. Waiting inside this for me. Maslow in need is first, you have to think of yourself. And that whether you like it or not, whether you believe in this government or not, this plan, now they inform all development assistance in salon. I make that very clear to the team we engagement in this process that if it's not inside this plan, we cannot engage UNDP and all the other partners and say give you money for this, because any money they give for the next 5-7 years can be tied directly to what's inside this plan. I just want to speak briefly and I'll open up for questions, Minister, on how people right now, if somebody say, wait to all this talk about talking good, I want to read this plan, I want to contribute to this plan. What's opportunity? Your mic.
Yes, if we can get the opportunity, we want the one whole country for read this plan. But what I failed to mention, Minister, is that if you can remember, we make a commitment, say, this plan will done in December, and we will get a brand new plan for start of January this year. Well, allow me start target and the plan they launch on the 30th of January. It'll be launched by the President on the 30th of January. And as I tell you, consultations are still ongoing. Well, unfortunately, we don't get any phone in now, us phone in right now. And also Andrew don't help me with the NGOs, and maybe he will also open a portal for that as well. But by the 30th of January, the plan will be available to everybody on the launch. We'll have a QR code. Those that will come to the launching will get pen drives. So, and about reading the plan, what you're going to say about it, you need for reader. I just want to emphasize that because it's a little bit different from the last plans. So every time you do something, there has to be an improvement. The other plan was brilliant. We have some of the same set of people we work on the plan. By the way, it's a homegrown plan. No international consultants. The working papers we got from the line ministries. Then we had to change, improve, and fit the plan. So even in this plan, you get district profiles. We're not ever done this in any plan. District profiles in day that we come from, then we get priorities from the discussions that were held at district level. Because sometimes you go and hold these discussions and it's not really recorded. So we don't put an any plan so that they can work on it further. Then also, I failed to mention that we're looking beyond 2030. You mentioned, Honorable, you mentioned the AU Agenda 2063. We also, in the next year or so, will have Sierra Leone Agenda 2063. The AU Agenda, the Africa we want, in consultation, that's where we're going to have more consultation, make more time, a plan, a longer term plan entitled the Sierra Leone we want. So in response to your question, it will be available to everybody on the 30th of January, but we still get a chance, all of you, for more in-depth discussion on long-term planning towards the Sierra Leone we want by 2063. Brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Also, as the Minister of Information and Civic Education, once the plan don't be done, we go work with Ministry of Development for make sure see farm will get access to this plan. We will do simplified versions, we will do videos, we will do simple audios, we will do graphics, we will make available to the press and to farm all across the country. I got some questions online, I will ask them quick and then I go open up to now. Somebody say, Minister, let clarify NGO registration process because of the confusing communications right now from Slango and the employee there. I say Slango gets some issue, they get this. I don't say Andrew Self belong to Slango, so but Minister, you there? Maybe if you can take that question before we. Somebody also they ask, I can normally do them together then I'll come. Somebody also they ask whether the EBK trial could be aired live on media outlets. I'll go answer that. Somebody also they ask, we lab provide information on the measures they will take by the ministry for control unauthorized release of sensitive classified government information to the public. And the key question I know will go online. I'll start with the last one. We don't see of late, yes, it seems like say more and more classified secret government information them they're normally working in the hands of public officials and civil servants. Them they be linked to the public in this day and age where we get this obsession with all break news. We don't see that. I know that this is something the government take very seriously. We get laws them already in many places. We get the administrative rules, we get the laws them. We get for do better for implementing laws and then hold people into account. Sometimes we start the process for hold to accounts, they're very public and they can say, oh, don't do that, don't do that. But this is a very serious issue that is affecting and could affect us even further. This is something the government take very seriously. On the question of whether the EBK trial will be aired live, the judiciary of Sierra Leone decide on these things when it comes to waiting. But I will assure the people now that all the trials so far are public trials. So journalists they don't attend all, and people that go there and they report on that trial and they. I don't say the judiciary be done, they do some trials and when they run live, but then we'll make that determination based on the different factors that we can see. But all trials will be public trials. Minister, you want to take this Slango question quickly?
Yes. On Slango registration, you say Slango to register NGOs, we have to register NGOs. But one of the criteria for make we register NGOs is that you therefore be a registered member of Slango. That's, as far as I want to take that question, I know say Slango gets some issues that we don't try for mediate. But as Slango don't point out, we not get that control over Slango. Slango is now a consortium of NGOs. They all come together. They have issues, they need to sort out these issues. They get a constitution. They go by the constitution. right? Now we can get letters from both Slango board. For we to go by the Slango constitution, and we deal with the institution where they in place as of their last annual general meeting. So since the question be there on registration, you get to register with Slango before you register with the Ministry of Planning. And as I say, they now a link between the NGOs and government. We to make sure all NGO activities are coordinated so impact stay on this country.
Thank you very much, Minister. Now, let's go. Questions. Start from the back today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and then we'll count the next one. So start. Go.
My name is Musa from the Nature newspaper. Madam Minister, what do you would tell the Sierra Leoneans when they will say we don't get beaucoup development plans then since the days of Kaba to date, and Sierra Leone get problem with the planning, the paper planning, but when it comes to implementation, it's a different ballgame. What you would tell the Sierra Leoneans about that?
Thank you. Number 2. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Ibrahim Jawara from IB Blog. The question goes to Madam Minister. The development plan, one for know how consistent and inclusive this plan be, because government come, any government come get in plan. And I think that the affected development, the Kamisa and Lavali say, Pakawa been set up peace. If only within the continue with plans that we get, I don't think it's by now for the top of peace. So how consistent and inclusive this plan be? Even if we get change of government, the plan will still continue as Madam Puta.
Thank you. Ladies, number 3 here.
Iris Aminata Bangura, Epic Radio. One of the things that we, the Ministry of the for the Fofonah for combat and misinformation and disinformation, and you've tried so hard. Whenever something comes out, you post them on our website and then we say it. But it's been issues, mostly when it comes to bloggers. I mean, that's one of the things I'm happy that some of them are here. And we know the issue of Honorable Parana and his wife, where they go around. And we had the ACCPRO on air, where it talks, there's this slip where they go around that she's been paid, or she was paid 31,000 a month as salary, which of course that's not true. We're not trying to debunk what they're doing, but point is, that's not what she was being paid. The ACCPRO say it's around 7,000 or something, so this is something that needs to be tackled. As media, bloggers are not journalists, but sometimes they think they do. But if there's one thing we need to do is ensuring we don't circulate some. If you're not certain about something, don't say it. So I think that needs to be clarified. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 4.
If I'm sorry for Fofonah for political newspaper, the question is to the Minister of Information. You mentioned that there is an audio where they make round on social media that tomorrow there will be a protest. And we don't see security presence in the capital city. Don't you think this too much security presence will be, threatening some people for making no come out to go?
Number 5. Who are we get number 5? Then you.
Mina John Kelly Mara, I report for Daybreak newspaper and that's for Focus magazine. Mr. Lavali, this question is for you. With the massive corruption according to our general reports, whose plan will be feasible, sustainable this time around, sir? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We have a few questions. Make I ask Minister for Stats. A question which you can say to people the way they say we don't get a good development plan, that will probably not in implementation, and how consistent and inclusive this plan be. Now you question that day.
I agree with your point of view where we don't get Boko development plan. Me start in the Ministry of Planning where we will get the second development plan, right? And we've had probably 10 plans since that time. I began in mid-1980, right? And yeah, very long time. And you know, when I first went to the ministry, okay, so I just want to say, I was always told the success of a plan in the implementation. You know, say we very first development plan was the best written plan on the continent, I was told. But for some reason, it was put aside. And you know which country picked up that plan as a blueprint for their planning? A country at that time where you could call Salute in twin, Botswana. Same population size, minerals, everything. They used our first development plan. They stuck to it. Now Botswana, a middle income country. One of the few middle income countries in Africa. All right? So that also proves that. Then what happened with the second development plan, that also they put them aside because of political reasons. You when you're there as a minister of planning, ultimately go to your own constituency. So you continue to get voted in. That's one of the reasons why they're not, the same reason why they not connect constituencies to ministers. That was the same reason. That was put aside, right? But I want to say, from my experience, it's your political will. And we know this time around, we get strong, but Uda uttered the big 5 game changers. It was his vision, as I always say, President Bio envisioned, but based on the aspirations of the people, based on the assessment of the previous development plan. So we know, say, we get the commitment of the head of state. And I know, say, I can say for myself, and I think I can talk on behalf of all the other cabinet ministers, we all committed for CSA this plan book. So you're going to see, we go put in with utmost, you know, from all of the ministries, the impact where each of the ministries don't make in the last 100, in the first 100 days. And you go see a lot of differences in cabinet, you know, not because just of the youth, but the commitment. And you go see more partnerships between ministers, 2-3 ministries, meaning that we really want for day together and make this plan book. And we hope that at the end of the 7 years, we'll say, yes, we've achieved it. We'll prove that this plan is good through its implementation.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Lavali, the question alleged say massive corruption day. So if massive corruption day, how we expect this plan here for work?
Yes, thank you very much. And I could again piggyback on that question on many plans, no results. So now that make a start for say whether not corruption or whether not plan or no results or left for think about yourself as a journalist small and think about yourself as a citizen. If this plan succeed, we all succeed. If this plan fail, must not say we all they fail. It doesn't matter what it be. So on we own part, as at the Institute for Governance Reform, you know so they do what they call the biometer. So we can track all, like with Minister Kenyeh Barley doing work, we watch all their promises then they, and we track them one by one. So we not just want to track our civil society, we want the media join for track government in plan and delivery. So not you don't wait till the end. You do one year in, year out. Let me tell you something. Last year before the election, we actually published all President Bio in promise we make inside the election in 2018. We found out, say, 79% of them promises they either they partially fulfill them or they fulfill all. So
You Musa and they wait. I'll make sure so they get a birthday. 79% are A+.
Yeah. So
hold on 1 second. President Bio, big plan in a full. All the commitment that we make, them tracker independently. 79% they are headlines, eh? Okay.
So here is another news. So the other news now, so we begin to ask yourself now, say if 79% you don't do all, then waiting change. So it will be say you don't plan for do something, but that plan where you make, you go do them, but it not necessarily translate into change. So some people in the talk say, no, this 79% where you say, this unana SLPP NGO, but indeed he said it, he did it. So the reason why we've been published down before this plan, we'll be talk say, if we do another plan, law focus on the tangibles, not to how many laws you make in a parliament. Because you talk say, I will make this law in a parliament, you pass the law, you don't do them. But does that translate into results? That's the difference between that plan and this plan. And now the difference between this plan and many other plans. This plan, they talk about the 5 fingers, so you can actually count the 5 fingers. All this plan, you can count the 5 fingers. Jobs. I don't want to call them by order. So you feed jobs. So you, as a journalist, no wait till the plan fail. Begin for track the plan. Right? You can do them at the chiefdom level, you can do them at the district level, you can do it at the national level. So, in the biometer now what they do, so turn to 556 promises there, the most tangible ones there. For one way they monitor government, if you go online, you can see by the meter. By the meter, they focus on 100 promises. But each one a tangible promise for America. Now, so if I now look at this promise, this plan, Minister, let us just conclude, this can be a solution to peace building. Because the more we get jobs, the more we stop fighting. All these threats will defect. Now, with jobs, they're few. Now, that make, even, in fact, we will see more threats day within APC and more threat day within SLPP than between SLPP and APC. No, this position, and before that person don't like the business, just because the public sector is small and the jobs are few. We need for come together. We hold this plan, let the basket grow for we all share together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think the summary of that was the you talk and you do. Okay? 2 questions there for me. One is on the security presence, whether or not they threaten people. I think the opposite. The security there, and for assure the people and say, you know, in the past, people don't make fake threats, we ignore. They make threats, security, they sit on house, where they go about and commit unspeakable offenses. We affect ordinary peace-loving citizens, APC, SLPP, and non-aligned. The responsibility of His Excellency and the state security apparatus and for protect life and property. Then they do whatever it takes to do that. You don't allow anybody to take advantage of anybody's situation or any perceived weakness in the security posture. So yes, you will see a very robust posture because the security not take anything for granted in this country anymore. So people will be rest assured, this is for their own safety and their own peace. They will go about the normal business, they don't go stop you and all. But if now somebody wants cause nonsense, they will be dealt with according to the law. I'm glad we always talk about fake news. Plenty people, including sometimes prominent journalists, they're very quick social media for share. Sometimes they cross-check the information. Sometimes people are waiting at your house. I see one of them post back, other person post back. When they cross-check, what thing they do, you're right. It will lower the debate threshold. It will lead to more misinformation. You know, they edify the country, they promote to democracy. and sometimes they victimize people unfairly. So this is not just for joining you in the call to bloggers them. Please, you can hold on, you can pause and verify the information. But to the general public, if you don't get the Ministry of Information and Civic Education in stamp, if you don't know our page, just know no more say for treat out a pinch of salt. When it is fact, or don't check, all thing, we they give the information. And we journalists, and sometimes they call me for ask, I can say, hold on, because I want to make triangulate the entire information. And when we publish them, it's as good to gospel or Quranic fact as you are going to get in this country. So we know the lie, we check before we put her out. And I want to comment on the specifics of that case. I think Anti-Corruption Commission, I don't talk about them. And we will get insight now in one of the press conference system as well for like answer some questions to the public. Okay, next round of questions on this side now. All right, 1. A woman. 2, 3, 4. I need one more. 5, gentlemen in the green. Okay. All right, let's go.
Thank you very much. I'm Cho Babi Okena and I'm a concerned citizen. I want to commend the Minister of Economic Development and Planning for a well-consultative and long-term plan for the country. At the very first term, as we all understand, say we get plan, we elapse 5 years.
Sure, you don't say I want to agree for speech, eh?
Yes,
question.
So I want to ask the Minister and the Honorable Member of Parliament, how this 5-year plan, this 7-year plan, go be implemented in case, I know of course, the SLPP therefore continue for rule, but in case there is a change of government, waiting a parliament in rule for ensure say who that ever come after will continue with this plan.
Good question, thank you. Next.
Hello, Madam Minister, in light of global economic trends, how you ministry they adapt the plans them for ensure that the country remain a competitive international stage, and also Mr. Lavali make mention of the jobs that the government say they give to its mandate. The government is strategy for provide 500,000 jobs for its mandate. Now the country in strategy is very, very comprehensive. But tell me how it going to impact the country and how unemployment among youth they affect the overall sector economic landscape.
Headlines in
good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim Isaac Mansari.
Line number 3?
Yes.
No, this panel number 3. Bakama.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Mr. Lavali, sir, today we talk about the medium-term national development plan. As a veteran journalist, I will talk on behalf of the media guys. You call for patriotism and nationalism for support the medium-term national development plan. I'm now asking, whenever the International Financial Committee can this country, the CSOs that get more favors for get financial tokens than the poor media. Voting.
Yes.
Excuse me. What you go able to for telecom civil society organizations that say when government is in the right path, come out to the street with placards, the civilized manner, a peaceful manner for showcase to the international community say the civil society of Sierra Leone they in line with the government of the day so that could reduce the psychosocial effect of the protesters or whoever they are against the government. What you go able to do?
Thank you, sir. You might want to deprive me of me celebrity. Yeah. Number 4, I'll give you chance after.
Okay.
Mina Emmanuel my question to go to the Minister of Planning. I want to know how best the ministry
within this plan but for come with, how best this plan capture the activity. The reason being, within this plan, I would say we the plant. If we the plant, we get for capture the amenities them within the city. Of course,
boss, we don't get a question though.
Sure.
Thank you. Number 5, please.
Yes, good afternoon. Mena Bobodan Kamari, write for New Citizen newspaper. This is just a quick one for Mr. Lavali. I go on for the methodology we use for arrival at the point say the 2018 SFP manifesto, they deliver 78%. 78%. But also, as I say so, I follow you general impression. Then they resonate in the life of the average Sierra Leonean. Thank you.
All right, that gentleman, they asked the final question, yes, because if you don't get the mic. Musa, yeah.
Good afternoon again. My name is Ibrahim Isaac Mansare. I'm a human rights activist who work for Center on Parliamentary Operations. My question will go to Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister, recently we see the main opposition minority leader then go and visit the president. I want to put on before you say the go away and go for see the president. Now something we the civil society not convinced. It means the president they pretend like he work with the opposition for sure the international community or the people of Sierra Leone. But for me, nothing to write home about it.
Question, Didi. Because the man not on Morima now. Only tell the president the thing. Anyway, thank you very much. That way this platform day, we welcome. Okay, you know this now the answer to the camp. Would you welcome any and all questions? See, I can to be asked, but I also defend for the right for ask the question. One thing we're very clear is His Excellency the President. You don't need for pretend to anybody. The President don't show by words and action that he committed to peace. And he committed to this country, he led this country and want to bring this country together. In record on peace cannot be questioned. Effect for this country. Shot fighting for this country. It starts the peace process. It hands over democracy. All of these empirical, undisputed, unquestionable facts. President fought or shot at for this country. Started the peace process, handed over power at the time when democracy in Africa or a reality. He left the country for allow peace to happen. When he came back, he contested an election. That election was disputed. He accepted and congratulates the opponents and work for peace. When the country faced a crisis, he came back, he fought across the country for peace, working with the incumbent government. After the election, his first speech was to call for peace. Everything about this man in life has been putting the interests of this country above his own personal interests. Not about when he talk plenty, and I make we day for talk for him. But what he do in commitments cannot be questioned. And don't make that mistake there. For question, the intention, the action, and the determination of His Excellency President Julius Malabio. Alright, Madam Minister, you get a question about how they ensure say this plan is implemented in case government changes. Would you also be honorable for comments on that question there? How you ministry they adapt the plan for make sure say we're competitive globally, the unemployment plan. Yes, so I think okay, and then how best the plan Freetown City Council. Okay.
Okay. On the first question, well, me not a mind reader, like the previous speaker, but I know how the international community they work. Now, as I tell you, we all plan, and a number of plans in other countries, they align with the SDGs. The SDGs, they end 2030, right? Any new leader we can, right? They go on for make and stop, right? So, but waiting we to do with this plan, it'll give a leeway for whole discussions. Probably it will take 18 months to develop the plan. So you're going towards the end of the 7 years, you get your brand new plan where you start off with. Now, why I say I know Sabi how the international community work. If the SDGs end in 2030, anybody go want come in, if they want align themselves to the SDGs, go just want get a plan for like 18 months or a year. That's versus and the SDGs, definitely the UN go get another plan, maybe 15, 20 years, but it's best for any planner for fit within that plan frame. So I just feel say they go adopt this period or allow this plan for run just through basic common sense. And then start now on a clean state when we look at goals from 2031. On the competitiveness of the global stage, Sierra Leone, highly respected on the global stage. Right? Maybe we're not a trumpeter enough. I have very competent staff. I'm in ministry. There are a number of activities that go on in the ministry where Sierra Leone, then look to Sierra Leone as an example. There's a study, like the Integrated National Financing Framework, where Sierra Leone don't present so many times on the global stage. It was only last month it was presented nationally, but people didn't use that report as an example. So many other reports. In the arena of peace, say Sierra Leone respected at the AU level, the ECOWAS level, the MRU level, and of course the global level, hence we presence on the Security Council. But we ministry, Sierra Leone, also the chair, the G7 plus group of countries, which are 20 countries that have been in conflict, emerging from conflict. And we don't chair G7 plus for 10 years. It's not a pass a dial, but they look at the competence of Sierra Leone. So we got to report more on these things within the plan of the successes, so that you could really say that Sierra Leone is competitive, and my ministry, I can also boast of competitive staff. The very first, Freetown City Council. With Freetown City Council, we don't work with the council. The council has been part of the Western area meetings. Remember, I talked say, we the plan at that policy level, and then we expect that there will be more strategic plans at the district or the Freetown City Council level. So I believe, say, the Freetown City Council get their own plan, like the other districts, for which my ministry help the districts for develop, and we continue for work with the Freetown City Council. We work with every council. We work with somebody when you talk about the inclusivity and every individual, because the mantra now in development is leave no man behind. So we're not left any institution or individual behind on this development journey.
Honorable, for make sure say elect government change, the plan is consistent.
Thank you very much, sir. I just want to say, very critical for let we understand, say Parliament, they look at this country in challenges from a different angle. This time, the more reason, our Economic Development Planning Committee, like full committee, and I want to assure that say the successes when this government don't make, and the international community for even the MCC, is because of a midterm national development plan in connection to the international documents there. Why you need to understand this? Go back and watch the MCC scorecard before the president took over 2018. And you see the growth where we get. And then you watch the agricultural sector, the health sector, the infrastructure sector. You will see how the graph go up. So because Parliament don't get a substantive committee where they look at national development, and I want to assure you that we deal with the minister very strongly. The minister, just 2 weeks ago, the minister in the Parliament, with the whole team in directors, then go brief the new 6th Parliament about the midterm national development plan where they develop. So that job they tell you the collaboration between Parliament and the ministry. Owner can be assured, because now we face the day at the ballot box, or the ballot paper, sorry. Because now we face the day, now we are the people that are representative. We mandate now for scrutinize government and report to the people there. And when you look at the 5th Parliament and the 6th Parliament, it's full of young people, plenty energy, everybody serious for even using your pocket money for do small development in community. Now for let everybody know it's salon for we don't let beat, and we need for fast track. The gap. And the only way for fast track, as we civil society brother they say, we're not going to look at politics. But we can be assured, if for any reason some of you see some of them think own the acts, they been told they move fast. We for don't talk, because now opposition will be there before they come now ruling government. So we are confident that this midterm where the ministry they develop so now, it will stand the test of time, and no matter what happens, Salon will be well informed, and Salon will continue to move ahead with that particular development plan going forward.
Excellent, thank you, Honorable. Mr. Lavali, a few questions about your numbers and all that. To get about 4 minutes more, we can say here. So,
thank you very much. I think before I answer the questions, I really need to give kudos to Mrs. Kenyeh Barley, and it's been tremendous work. Me, I don't take part in 2 consultations. There was one by civil society, where this thing away, then they talk about gender. We meet with the woman, they will talk, say there should be something on gender. So when are the journalists then? They say the space still open for consultations. Right, say there is something in that plan that I still want. So write to the ministry. So in the next 5 years, I really want to let this happen. So this press conference, I see it as the biggest platform for consultation. And one of the outputs now, how the journalists, they not just go publish. Say me, Ms. Honorable Minister, and she's quite accessible. You write to her, go drop her. Yeah? So because this is a true meaning of what you say, when you move development from citizens, from users and choosers of services to makers and shapers of policies. So now we know the shape now how the next life can look like. Somebody talk about how can jobs be created. I don't think so you get 6 hours. They say I just get 2 minutes more. But you get beaucoup ways how the next 500 jobs can be created. The last time I checked statistics in Sierra Leone, they say they get 185,000 small enterprises, SMEs, where they don't create about 240,000 jobs. When they get capacity for create 240,000 jobs. Imagine if one panel just create an extra job, not talk say one, just create an extra job in 5 years. You know what that means? Or 2 jobs in 5 years. It means just from small and medium scale enterprises, you can actually get 500,000 jobs. It's possible. Forget about mining companies. So it's about you own business that you host. Now for that, say take the plan. You own business that you host. That anti business that you host. How that business get for grow. Don't forget about SLBP, ABC small. Don't think about yourself. CSOs engage in donors on the positives about government. I think say anybody get right for talking about it, but at least we'll get the responsibility for rebrand Sierra Leone. There is quite a lot of positive way they happen about this country. Unfortunately, at any time you open radio, I just see negative. So we all get an obligation for talk say beaches they're fine, and there are things we're bad, there are things we're good as well. The last one somebody mentioned about the methodology for the biometer. I don't just share the biometer with the minister and we'll share with all the methodology they inside. And when you read the biometer, read that with the SFP manifesto. Because if they say it promised this, the consultant they will hire for the biometer and they go ask They go to that ministry, they una do one. You don't just say yes, wait till the evidence say you do one. But the person asks the question back, say, how did this resonate with the people? So it's 79% was all done. But that 79% day, it not necessarily say if you even do 100%, salon for don't change. So it means that I'm making now that this plan here, it learned from that one, they say, how do we focus on the concrete, on the tangibles? That if we get 500,000 jobs, change will be, rather than the number of policies so passed the parliament. I think it's the biggest point of departure. Thank you.
On that note, I have to take the opportunity to tell you all plenty thank you for come at today's press conference. I have to tell we partner radio stations, television stations, and other stations. They plenty thank you for winning the carry we live. And on the journalists them, I have to tell the guests them, who Minister for Planning and Economic Development, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Fofonah, my brother Andrew Lavali, plenty thank you, Deputy Minister Yusuf Sunday as well. Next week, we will come back for continue this conversation, for talk to the people of Salo. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.
And so we'll come to the end of the weekly government press conference, working organized by the Ministry of Information and Civic Education. This can take place in the Foreign Affairs Conference Room. This is Unity Broadcasting. Thank you.